Hey guys, Soph here. So I thought I'd do a short little video talking about Resto Shaman, in particular on the beta right now, because people keep commenting on my videos that I've released for like the different specs doing dungeons, like, oh, how does the spec feel in comparison to others? Like, what are your legendaries? What do you think about this? So I thought what I'm going to do is a 5-minute video on each different little spec that I'm playing, and I'll just tell you how I feel in terms of how it feels in terms of the other classes, and how it feels like in itself. So I'm going to start with Resto Shaman. Now, Resto Shaman on the beta right now, in my opinion, feels really fun. Now, mainly because of the legendaries, the Conduits, the Covenant ability, and like the Mana Shield, Mana Totem. Like all these little things that have come back for Shaman that I think are making a really big difference as to, like, I don't know, improving its gameplay. Now, I've had the most fun with two particular legendaries. The one that I have been playing the most is this one here. Your Healing Wave and Healing Surge increase the healing done by your next chain heal. Now, that stacks up to 5 times as far as I'm aware, or I was looking at it in a dungeon earlier, which is pretty big. So if you spam Healing Surging the tank, then your next chain heal, let's just say, you're spamming the tank, you've done like 5 Healing Surges and a Riptide. Your next chain heal is going to be 50% more effective. Now that's quite a big chunk of AoE healing. Your haste is quite low, so one chain heal does take quite a long time to cast when you're, like, let's just say you're in heavy damage, and you're trying to like spam AoE. It feels quite bad, but when it's that 50% more effective, yes, you have the slightly longer cast time than you'd like, but that chain heal itself feels really powerful. Now this legendary I think is better than the other one, which I've been testing around a little bit with, and that is the I have it here. Where is it? This one, Chains of Devastation. Casting Chain Heal makes your next Chain Lightning instant cast. Casting Chain Lightning makes your next Chain Heal instant cast. Now that's a fun legendary, but it requires quite a lot of weaving Chain Lightning and Chain Heal, and I'll be honest, even in these dungeons, you still don't tend to use Chain Lightning that much. Like, at the moment on beta, in these dungeons, they're quite healing intensive. There's quite a lot of mechanics, so I don't find myself casting Chain Lightning that often. So, yes, it's fun, and I love the idea around weaving Chain Lightning into Chain Heal. Right now, it's too hard. It's just too hard of a legendary to work with, in my opinion. Like, in these dungeons, I probably cast Chain Lightning 2-3 times, maybe more. But I tend to just be single target DPSing, I'm flame shocking, I'm lava bursting, I'm lightning bolting. A lot of these bosses are also single target, so there's kind of no ads, so there's no point to chain heal on bosses, chain lightning on bosses either. So that's kind of whatever. But that's also what I've been fiddling around with. I haven't really tried any of the others, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that they're wrong or they're bad. I just haven't had enough time. And reading them, I'm kind of like Primal Tide Core. Every full cast of Riptide also applies Riptide to another friendly target. Now, if you time it right, you can have 5 Riptides up at once. Yes, 2 of them will be almost expiring, but you can have 5 up. So this feels like overkill. I'm not even sure the purpose, but it doesn't feel good. Right now, the one that I'm running, this one right here, just feels too good. It just feels too good to pass up. Mainly because the dungeons are quite chain heavy right now, in my opinion. Like, they're quite damage heavy. Like, and there's long pulls that take a while, and the mobs do lots of different abilities that do quite a lot of damage. So that buff to your chain heal, it just feels really good. It makes your chain heal feel even better. Now, when you also have this Conduit, apologies about the car in the background, Chain Heal has a 40% chance to jump to an additional ally. Now that feels really good also, just because if your Chain Heal is that buffed and it goes to an extra player, I do like that. I haven't had enough time to notice this particular Conduit, like it's worth, but it does sound good. It might not be good, but it sounds good to me. Now I'm running I'm pretty much going full potency Conduits just because I think they're the best in my opinion. So up here we have using Healing Stream Totem increases the healing of your next 3 Healing Surge, Healing Wave, or Riptide spells by 20%. I'm enjoying this. I tend to use my totems a lot of the time. So, like, I'm almost always going to have a totem down. So having that increase to my next 3 spells, well, my next 3 surges, waves, or riptides is huge. So this, I feel like, is a must-have for potency conduits. For endurance, I'm running your healing surge is 15% more effective on yourself. I don't tend to ever really healing surge myself. Normally, I just keep a riptide on me, and I just, like, hope for the best. But I do like this. If I ever need to, it just feels good, because then I'm getting healed quicker, right? Like, I'm getting healed to full quicker because my spells are more effective on me, which I like. Also, I'm not really sure that the other conduits are that great, like the endurance ones. I don't know if I have any in my bag. Okay, I don't have any of the other endurance ones in my bag, but not a huge fan. I think this one is definitely the best choice in terms of healing. Now, I have the one that I just mentioned, the Potency Conduit. Chain Heal has a 40% chance to jump to an additional ally. Not sure if that's the best, but I have been enjoying it so far. So we'll see whether there is something better. I would like to try this Earth Shock or Elemental's Blast, but I actually don't think... Actually, I take that back. That's an Elemental one. Forget that. That's not the one I was thinking of. But these other ones... Just like using Healing Tide Totem increases the healing of your healing rain by 160%. I mean, you're Healing Tide Totem every 3 minutes. So every 3 minutes you're going to have a Pog healing rain. I'm not sure if that's worth, in my opinion. So, I don't know. And then I have this Vesper Totem is 100% more effective against the target nearest to it. I'm not sure about this one. I'm not sure. I'm still iffy about whether this one is going to be good. I just was testing it out because I just made a shaman on for the Kyrian Covenant, because I've tested every one so far except for Kyrian, and it's the one that I've liked the most, so I just went this so I could test out my totem. Now, in my eyes right now, for Mythic Plus, I feel like Kyrian is the strongest. That might be personal opinion, but this totem is a 1-minute CD. It summons a totem at the target location for 30 seconds. Your next 3 damage spells or abilities will cause the totem to radiate 773 arcane damage to up to 6 enemies. And your next 3 healing spells will heal up to 6 allies near the totem. I've been using it and mostly using it when I'm healing. And it feels like quite a nice extra totem. Like I don't want to say it's almost like a big CD because it's kind of not. But out of all the Covenant abilities that I've tried so far, it's definitely the better one, in my opinion. It could change. My 2 other shamans in 2 of the videos I've uploaded, I think I've uploaded 2, or I have 1 to come. I tested out, I can't think of the other 2 right now, but not the Night Fae one, the other 2. Oh, the Necro Lords and the Vanther, I think. I've tested those. They didn't blow me away. I might have been not using them at the best time, but they didn't blow me away. So yeah, I'm kind of just going to stick with the Kyrian for a few more different dungeons, just so I can play around with it. Just because I've been enjoying the totem. But people always ask me, what do I think about Shaman in terms of the other healers? Now, it's no Resto Druid, I have to admit. I still think Resto Druid is going to be better, but it does have decent throughput for okay mana costs. In my opinion, it's not super mana hungry if you're playing smart, and you have a lot of totems, you have a lot of tools to be a pumper in Mythic Plus. And right now, a lot of these dungeons are super overtuned. They're pretty hard mechanically. Sometimes animations are bugged, so you're taking random damage that you don't know about until you see yourself standing in something. And, I mean, with this build, which is this... Literally, these talents are the exact same I'm running on live right now. It feels good. I can't say whether it's going to be the pick for, like, Mythic Plus at this stage. Right now, it feels good. It feels fun, most importantly. And... I don't feel weak like, I've been playing Holy Paladin, and that feels quite weak in my eyes, but this feels kind of, like, not particularly difficult. The rotation is not hard to pick up, and all your healing spells do quite a lot of healing. You've got all these totems, you've got like a mana shield so you can regen mana. Earth Shield is now baseline, so that helps with your tank healing, which I love, by the way. The fact that Earth Shield is baseline is such a nice little something for the tank. Just helps you pump into the tank that little bit more, which I really like. Where is it? For those who don't know it off the top of their head, let me find... I can't even find it. Am I blind? Anyway, oh, here. So it protects the target, increasing your healing on them by 10% and healing them for 410 when they take damage for 9 charges. I just think this is a nice baseline. I like keeping it on my tank. It gives me that little bit of an extra edge when I'm healing my tank. It's no defensive. It's no damage reduction. But it is a little bit of something that helps with your tank healing, which is something that Shaman, in my eyes, is not the best at. Because you kind of just Riptide, Healing Surge, Healing Wave spam your tank. And that is not so fun. But having the Earth Shield is nice. Mana Shield's great. Well, this is Lightning Shield, but I'm really enjoying Mana Tide Totem and Mythic Plus. It's okay in Mythic Plus. It's not anything crazy, but it is nice when you're to just have that little bit of something. Like, you've got your shield rolling, and then you have your Mana Totem rolling, which I guess is pretty nice. In terms of the damage rotation, it's too hard to tell. Let's have a look at a boss that I recently did. Yeah, we'll look at the last boss of Halls of Atonement in a +10. So this is my damage breakdown. My totem was kind of av. It was all my lava burst. My damage was whatever. It wasn't great. My overall was probably pretty abysmal because I didn't have much time to heal, because these dungeons don't have a whole lot of downtime where you can just kind of spam damage. It's nothing crazy, I'll be honest. It's probably about the way that it was. But in terms of beta to live, I think it's better now than it is in live right now. Things could change. The meta will change, obviously. I still think Resto Druid is better because the throughput is higher for less mana cost. But if you are thinking about, oh, maybe I want to look into playing Shaman, it is hella fun. I do have to admit, I am really enjoying it. It is probably my most played spec on beta right now, mainly because it comes with Lust, and I'm enjoying having Bloodlust. But I'm enjoying the totems. I think Kyrian's totem is fantastic. I am really glad I tested this out. I'm going to keep testing it so I can tell you about whether it's still my pick in a week's time. But as of right now, I think Shaman is a good pick for Mythic Plus. I think it's probably under Druid. I think Priest is also up there. But my goal is I'll just keep testing it, I guess. But I just wanted to make this video just so people who keep being like, hey, what do you think about Shaman? You have 10 minutes of me talking about my build for Shaman and what I think. But obviously there are going to be people out here running different talents, different conduits, different covenants, and they might have a different story. But this is just from my perspective. I play Resto Shaman on live. I'm nothing crazy. I'm a 3k Resto Shaman. I'm nothing exciting. So I don't have the opinion of one of the best Resto Shamans in the world might say something completely different to me. But I just thought this might give you an idea of, I don't know, if you're thinking about what you want to play, maybe you could look at Shaman. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to this random rant about Resto Shaman, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Bye!